Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the Book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is this one. It's called A Beginner's Guide to Breaking and Entering by author Andrew Hunter Murray. They say you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but in this case, I was in the local Waterstones and I saw that title and thought, I've got to read that one. So, it's all about? Well, it was released as a hardback here on the 25th of April 2024 in the UK, published by Hutchinson Heinemann. It's the author's third book. The first two were somewhat dystopian, futuristic, sci-fi type books. This isn't. This is a modern day tale. So what's it all about, I hear you say? Well, the tale is narrated by a guy called Al, not his real name. He's in prison when the book starts, and he's taking IT lessons while surreptitiously writing this tale and recounting his adventures. So Al is an interloper. He breaks into really expensive houses of wealthy people and stays there. He's not a burglar. He's not a squatter. He doesn't steal stuff. He doesn't leave the place in disarray. This is what he does. He breaks into people's houses, lives there for a few weeks, months, and then leaves it as he finds it, moves on to another one. He's got a part-time job taking photographs for a high-end estate agent, but interloping is what he does. Book kicks off with Al having a failed interloping. Goes to a guy's house. He's sussed out the guy's going to be away. Turns out the guy's left his passport on the table, and thus Al's attempt at interloping fails. So he legs it quickly, but he thinks, I know I can get out of this. There's a property in Balfour Villas that he knows is subject to a long-running probate dispute. He's been there before. He thinks, I can go there for the night. So up he goes to Balfour Villas, and there's something strange about it. He thinks, hang on, it looks like there's somebody in there, but I know this property should be empty. And sure enough, there are people in there. There are three people. There are two sisters called M and L, and their friend Johnny. And it turns out that M, L and Johnny do exactly what Al does. They originally started, they call themselves pisciners, excuse the French, where they were in the south of France and they were breaking into homes and using people's swimming pools, and then eventually moved into houses. So the four of them basically do the same thing. Al's a little bit, I don't know, I like to work on my own. But the three, M, L and Johnny, M and L are a bit like Al, they're blaggers, they know how to talk to people, they know how to do things. Johnny is an IT whiz, he's good with cameras, he's good with hacking, etc. So the three of them are about to do a job, and they ask Al to come along with them. So he does. The next day they're off, and they approach this very exclusive, very nice property. It belongs to a guy called David, who's a partner in a firm of high-end estate agents. He's about to go to Dubai for 6 weeks, so ideal time to borrow his gaff for a few weeks. Trouble is, once they manage to break in, Al goes into the study and David's there holding a gun, so he's not gone at all. There's a knock at the door. The guys stay in the study. David goes to answer it, and all of a sudden there's a gunshot. Next thing they know, David is lying dead on the floor with half of his stomach missing. So talk about being in the wrong place at the wrong time. So Al, M and Johnny leg it quickly and get back to Balfour Villas. So they've got a dilemma. They go to the police. They're going to be in a whole world of trouble. So they come across an idea that, well, we've got skills. We know how to influence people. We know how to get into places. Johnny's got IT skills. He can crack databases. He can put cameras in. Why don't we use our skills to find out who the murderer is? And that is basically the tale. They're ducking and diving, they're blagging, they're finding out bits of information. Along the way, they come across a whole bunch of characters. One who looks like a very trained thug, who they call Bowling Ball, because of his bald head and his size. It's a very, very interesting read. They eventually gather all the clues, and sure enough, it's a murder mystery. So the deceased estate agent was up to somewhat nefarious activities. In fact, a couple of different activities. And eventually they try to piece all the clues together and find out who did it and try and get themselves out of the unholy mess they're in. So really, really good read, full of humour and full of Al. Al narrates the tale, and it's full of self-deprecating humour, but a really, really good read. I really enjoyed it. So humorous, modern, as I said, full of Al's self-deprecating humour, and a really, really good read. And we're taken into a couple of criminal conspiracies that are really common nowadays. There's also some spying involved as well. So all sorts going on, and well worth a read. It's 450 pages, and I read it in 2 sessions. Really enjoyed it. So that's it for this week's brief book review. For educational purposes only, it's noted that Al has a set of rules about breaking into properties, and they're written on the inside cover. And they start off, be confident, talk fast, and believe the lie you're telling. Always have at least 2 stories and know them inside out, etc. And I'd like to point out that's for educational purposes only, and I'm no way encouraging people to break into people's houses. So that's it for this week's brief book review. Thanks for watching. I'd give it 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Good read. 10/10 till we do it again. Thanks for watching.